Hello, everyone. It's the DCEU podcast man once more, and I am going to be discussing about the post-credit scene in Justice League. Just to be clear, I'm not going to be discussing about that whole scene. I'm only going to be discussing about what it meant. For all you die-hard comic book fans, especially of the DC fan base, you would know that Lex Luthor, when he said, "Shouldn't we have a league of our own?" what he was describing was the Injustice League from DC Comics. The Injustice League consists of villains such as Lex Luthor, the Joker, Cheetah, basically like the total opposite of the Justice League, all the number one nemesises against each other. But I want to discuss about that and what it can mean for the DC Extended Universe. First off, how they're gonna go about this. After Justice League, I assume that they're going to do post-credit scenes where it shows Lex Luthor, just like he did with Deathstroke, have post-credit scenes where he recruits every member of the Injustice League to face them in the sequel. But by far they haven't done that. But unless they do that in the sequels to each member's movie, so like Aquaman 2 with Black Manta, if they don't kill him off, then he'll probably be recruited for the Injustice League. But by far, we haven't seen any of that. I'm hoping this won't be like with Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Justice League, where despite all these foreshadowings and build-up for how the movie was originally supposed to be, where they fight Darkseid and his army and fight Apocalypse, before Joss Whedon came and redid it and gave us the story we have now with Steppenwolf. I also now, for the team, how this could affect the DC Extended Universe. Now, obviously, it would be cool to see both teams fight, but one thing I wish the DCEU would be doing right now is kind of like how they build up the Avengers, like show members of the team being recruited. Because I know they're trying to do something different from what Marvel's doing, but I feel like even though it's similar, it's still different because they're not recruiting heroes, they're recruiting villains. And looking at it, it would be interesting to see like how these villains naturally probably won't have any trust towards one another, because that's the thing with bad guys, like even though they're interested in wanting to recruit them, they're not going to trust each other right away. And it's sort of showing like how their trust is going to be built up eventually. Then, but for the members, I want to discuss about how they're going to go about it though, because one thing that DC is doing more than Marvel has done is that they're actually not killing off the villains in each of their movies. The only villains that have died in the DCEU so far is their Black Mask, General Zod, Doomsday, and Slipknot from Suicide Squad, and the Enchantress and her brother. But so far, a majority of their villains have been kept alive. Mostly so they can foreshadow like the next sequel or spin-off. But still, it would be one thing I'm wondering if in the upcoming Wonder Woman 1984, Cheetah, who is also a part of the Injustice League, is going to be the villain in that movie, or at least one of them. I'm hoping that she will be one of the lucky ones to only be arrested and sent to like some super prison rather than being killed off. Because it would be interesting to see, see that, and possibly in the Batman. It'd be interesting to see, depending on where the timeline takes place, to see members of Batman's crew being recruited, and maybe in the Suicide Squad, if they can get another Joker. It'd be interesting to see him being recruited for the League, or maybe he can do like in the Justice League cartoon, where instead of being recruited, he just shows up and forces his way in. And as for the team as a whole, one thing I think would be interesting to do, if in the DC Extended Universe, if after the Justice League fight them, if maybe they would not only break apart and show up in the sequels and spin-offs, also foreshadow Well, two things. The first thing is to foreshadow like other supervillain teams in DC, like say the Secret Society. That was a team where or they'll have like some members of the Injustice League, but also will be led by Gorilla Grodd. But it will be interesting to see, wait to see like how supervillains can operate with each other, as a whole, rather than being forced into a spot where they have to cooperate. That's one of the reasons why, in my opinion, Suicide Squad didn't do very well, or at least I feel like that Suicide Squad should have expanded on. I feel as though that if the Injustice League were to break up and form their own crime syndicates or supervillain teams, it would be a great way to show like how resourceful supervillains can be, with not just wanting to take the lead, but also how they can. It can also show like how supervillains can cooperate with each other after they've experienced what it's like to team up, not because they were forced to, but to do it by choice. But the second thing it could foreshadow is possibly like in the final episode of Justice League Unlimited, when Darkseid's forces showed up, how the DC heroes and the DC villains all had to team up together to fight his army and fight him. I think that would be interesting because I guess it will be like in game, but at the same time, it'll have its own uniqueness of having villains and heroes coming together, which could have been shown in game, mostly like if Loki had survived, but didn't. In the upcoming Gotham City Sirens movie, I think it would be interesting to see like how possibly like Poison Ivy or Harley Quinn would be recruited, or if say Lex Luthor would take it into consideration and to possibly recruit them for the Injustice League, or like any of the other supervillains wanted to recruit them for the other supervillain teams, or maybe the Suicide Squad movie showing like maybe Deathstroke. Maybe have Deathstroke like eyeing the members to see like who would be the best to join the Injustice League, and maybe like having him confronting them to mention about it and give a little, like, or give a quote like Lex Luthor saying, "Hey, you want to join our league?" At the same time, I mean, after the second Justice League movie, when they fight the Injustice League, they can also have spin-offs starring these supervillains, kind of like in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise before it canceled. They were originally going to have a Sinister Six movie, which was in a way was supposed to be like Suicide Squad, but it would be interesting to see like how after working together, how a team up would affect a supervillain. Like after teaming up, would they still want to do a solo, or want to team up with others? Like try to explore the psyche of a supervillain, and after experiences like team ups, or after having a temporary partnership. One thing that I would think would be interesting to see, if the Injustice League, or possibly in the future like the Secret Society or some other supervillain team, if it would show their secret hideout, the Hall of Doom, which originally was from the Super Friends cartoon, but still seeing like a supervillain's very own secret base, because except for Spider-Man Homecoming, you don't ever see the villain's secret lair, and if it is, it's like some abandoned place where or you don't think to look for them. So yeah, bringing in the Hall of Doom would be a great change of pace for all superhero movies, where we get to see the villain's secret lairs instead of always seeing the superhero's secret lairs. Well, that is all I have to say er, for the Injustice League and the DC Extended Universe, and how they can and how it could expand their universe, or how it could build up to like bigger projects, and possibly to the eventual Darkseid versus Earth hero and villains fight. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Goodbye.